Okay, this is for everybody that can't do the Zoom. So today we're going to work on our end of the year book. And we got the front cover done yesterday, and we got the one flap done. So today I want you to get out this, and I want you to cut along the black line. Okay, this is one thing I did not cut out. And it's just very easy to cut out. And we're going to look at what you learned this year. So we'll talk about it, and you can pick out some of the things that I'm going to say, and you can write them down. I've got my board here. Okay, so the way you fold it is you fold it. See, that this is the blank side. This is the writing side. Fold the math down right on that black line. Okay, right on that black line. And then the reading and writing, you're going to fold on that line. Crease it. Then social studies, you're going to fold it on that line. Crease it. And then science. The math didn't get quite on the black line. Okay. Oops. I don't want to be on the black line. All right, and then science. And crease it. So now you have these nice little pockets. And so on the little flap, not on the center part, but on the flap, you're going to write what you learned in that subject. So let me get my clean piece of paper out. And we're going to talk about what we learned in math. So if you are Leon, you learned something different in math than the first graders did. So I'll put first grade and I'll put second grade, because I don't know if Leon is going to be able to join today or not. So in first grade, what did you learn? You learned to add up to the 14 family. You learned to subtract up to the 14 family. You learned 3D shapes. You don't have to write all of this down. You can just pick something. You learned fractions. You learned place value to 100s. To the hundreds. What else did you learn? Clocks. Money. You learned, that's a lot. So you can pick out one or two of those things, or as many things as you want to pick out. Leon, what are some things you learned? You learned carrying. You learned borrowing. You learned multiplying. You were introduced to dividing. All right, so that's a lot to pick from. And there's a lot of other stuff y'all learn, but these are the main things. Leon, you learned fractions too. You learned place values up to the thousands place. Actually, to the 10,000s place. So pick any one of those two and write that on the math. Then on the, draw a line right here. And on the reading and writing, Leon, you learned cursive writing. Everybody learned opinion writing. We learned nonfiction. And we learned narrative. Do you remember what narrative is? Telling a story about something that happened to you. So those are all things that we learned in writing. What are some things that y'all learned in reading? Leon, you just got increased to harder levels in reading. What did the first grade learn? What are some sounds? We learned O-O, and B. We learned oo and tooth. We learned A-N-G, I-N-G. O-N-G, U-N-G. We learned all the NK rules. Ink and bank, ink and wink, onk and honk, unk and spunk. We learned suffixes. We learned a lot. I can't write sideways. Suffixes. What else did y'all learn? Dividing words. You reviewed short vowels and long vowels. You learned all the R rules, like R vowels, like A-R, E-R, I-R. And you learned UR. It's so much. Just pick out 2 or 3 things that you learned and write it on that flap. All right. And then it says social studies. We did a lot in social studies. We visited a lot of places. Let me tear this sheet off if I can get a hold of it. All right, I'll get a different color marker. What places did we visit in social studies? We visited Japan. We visited Moscow. Where is Moscow? In Russia. We visited Australia. China. We visited, where else did we visit? Oh, we visited France, the UK, United Kingdom. We've been all over the world. And if you can think of one that's not written down here, you write it down. And science. Oh my goodness, we learned all the 5 different types of animals. And we learned, I think there were 5 types. There were fish, mammals, amphibians, reptiles, insects. We learned electricity. We learned simple machines. Remember when we built pulleys? You could write down pulley if you wanted to. And that was funny. You were able to lift up heavy stuff that you normally can't lift. We did, what else did we do? Plants. So we did a lot. So you could write down the different types of animals. You know, you could write fish, amphibians, reptiles, or you could just do one of these. Or if there was a special project that you liked that we built, or maybe when the engineer came and taught us that day. Okay, all right, very good. Now, we're going to take this and we're going to see the back of it is just all plain. You wrote your things on the inside. You wrote them on these little flaps. And we're going to glue this down. And it's going to go right here in the middle. Okay, so it's going to go right beside our little flower, or maybe you had this little thing up there. Whichever one you had, it's going to go right up there. So glue the back of it and glue it down. The next thing we're going to do, I have to keep in mind what we're doing here. All right, these go on the bottom. These go over on this side. All right, we're going to do these little flaps that say, I am going places. Achievements from this year. And this one says goals for next year. And advice I have for kids next year. All right, so I want you to stack them up and staple them up at the top. Oh, I got to get my stapler. Okay, so you got it stapled. Now we got to write on it. All right, it says achievements from this year. What are some things that you felt like that you got really good at this year? You can write it on the back. Okay, just write it up here. So, did you get good at adding numbers? Did you get good at reading? I know, Braylon, I know you improved your reading a lot, and Micaiah and Gage, y'all did too. Leon, what did you get good at? You got better at doing sketches. You got better at adding. I know at the first of the year you were just kind of good at it, but you got really good at it. You got good at doing your multiplication facts. Y'all got better at being kinder to each other. You got better at getting along and taking turns. There's so many things y'all got better at this year. And just write some of those things down, okay? Write them down right up here and hit pause on your video while you write it. All right? Now you've unpaused it. What are your goals for next year? What do you think your goals might be for next year? What do you want to get better at? What do you want to learn about? Write some things that we didn't talk about this year that you would like to learn about next year. Or write some things that you would like to do, or some places you would like to go, or books you would like to read, or something you would like to learn about. I would like to learn how to take care of a cat, or I would like to learn how to take care of a pet hamster, or just some goals that you have for next year. I would like to learn how to crochet. I would like to learn how to draw a little better. Write down some goals that you have for next year. All right, pause your video. All right, I like this last one. Advice for kids next year. What advice do you have for kids coming into Miss Amy's class? Miss Amy likes things to be what? Neat. So try to make things neat. Miss Amy likes for people to be kind and sharing. So maybe learn about being kind and sharing. Or you know what maybe irritated me more than I even did. So maybe write them a note. Don't do this. It makes Miss Amy upset. She does not like it. So you put some advice for kids next year. Just 2 or 3 things. You have to do at least 2 or 3. All right. Pause your video while you write those down. Okay, now you've unpaused your video. Now you're going to glue on the back of this one. I don't know what color yours are because I did everybody's in different colors, but mine is blue. And I'm going to glue on the back of it. And I am going to put it on the back of this flap. Do you see how this says first grade in the graduation picture? Well, I'm going to put it on the back of that flap. Whoop. Okay, so I'm going to glue it right there. All right, and just get it centered where it looks, you know, I can't do it and hold it. But you glue it and get it centered. Alrighty. When you get that done, we are going to work just a little bit on my life in first. So I'll give you just a second to glue that down. Rub it and pat it. Try to get it even. Okay. So the way you do it is you have, you need to pause your video if you're not done. You have 4 tabs that go with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first thing you're going to do is say my life in first. Leon, I don't know if I did first or second for you. I tell you what, if it doesn't say second, send me a text and don't do anything with it, but I will send you one that says second because I didn't even realize that. All right, so that's going to be your first page, so lay it down. Your next page is going to be all about me. Okay? So we're going to work on this one today. All about me. I am this old. How old are you? I am 49, so I'm going to write 49 on mine. My teacher is, I just told you, 49. I am the teacher, so I have to write 49 again. You write how old you are and then write how old I am. Your classroom was first and second grade. Just put it like this. First and second. All right. I am this tall. You need to get Mama to measure you and see how tall you are. And then you have to put your eye color and your hair color. I have blue eyes and brown hair. Okay. And I know how tall I am. I am 5 foot 2 inches. All right. Now, I want you to write a few sentences about yourself. I'm going to say, I enjoyed my students this year. Our year ended crazy because of COVID-19, because that's the disease that is going around. Okay? You can write something about school, you can write something about home, you can just write something about yourself that you discovered this year, or you can write about something you love, something about you. Okay? Because it's all about you. Alright, so that's all we're going to do of that. So I'm just going to stack these back up. Leon, I will get you another one of these if you need one. You just have to send me a text. Alright, and that is all we're going to do on our little book for today. I will see you tomorrow.